Alrighty, welcome back to Lunch with CrunchDad. Actually, this is more like a breakfast video because I am doing McDonald's breakfast. I want to say out of all the fast food places, McDonald's is probably the best fast food place. It's so nostalgic for me. To me, it's childhood growing up on like Saturday morning getting breakfast, and it was like a treat. Usually I like getting hash browns, but I know it's pretty oily. Trying to watch the weight. And I love their hash browns. I mean, it's so iconic. Those hash browns they're everything. But today I went with the deal for their 2 for $5 or whatever sausage egg McMuffin. And this is by far my favorite breakfast item there. They have the big deluxe breakfast that comes with pancakes, eggs, bacon, and all that kind of stuff. But this is what I grew up on. This is childhood right here. This little sandwich right here, that's childhood right here. This is special. It's the egg, that round breakfast egg, breakfast sausage. Crunch Mom does not like breakfast sausage, which I will gladly eat for her. And the English egg McMuffin, it's this right here. I'm gonna get straight into it. 잘 먹겠습니다. It's amazing to me how fast food places, it could be 30 years later and it still tastes the same. Why is it so good? Oh, I also got the coffee. Honestly, McDonald's coffee is actually pretty good too. I mean, it's not bad for sure. But today we're doing some questions and answers. You guys ask the questions, we give you the answers. Here we go. First question comes from Sarah C.1097. Sarah C.1097. What camera do you use? Let me actually show you guys just this setup right here. All right, yeah, I'm in the parking lot of Costco. But this is the Sony a7 IV with a little small rig there. That's, you could see obviously. And then I'm using a Lonzi thing with an attachment, and that's sitting on this little base here. And I'm using a Sennheiser 400K microphone. And that's a Tamron 17 to 28 lens on the Sony a7 IV. So that is my current setup right now for when I'm out and about. So when you see videos, ooh, that's good. When you see videos of us doing a car mukbang, or if you see videos of us like at Disneyland or wherever, anywhere out and about, that is the camera that I'm using. That's the setup that I'm using. At home, I can go on forever. I love talking about cameras, and just like I went down this huge rabbit hole of stuff just in like cameras. We started off our first ever video. We started off using a Canon G7X Mark I. It's like this little point and shoot camera, and we put it on a tripod, filmed it. That's what we used when we first started. In our studio, we use the Sony a7 R5 with like a Sigma 24 to 70 millimeter lens on there. That thing is amazing. I mean, this camera is amazing, and I love this camera because for me, the hand size, it's bigger than your typical, I would say it's bigger than your average camera. I mean, it's average. It's definitely heavier and bigger. That new camera, the Sony a7 V or R5, with that Sigma lens on there, it is huge. I cannot carry that thing around. There's no way I'm going to be able to vlog and do travel stuff with it. So this is going to be my travel. We're going to Japan soon, and this is the camera that I'm going to be taking with me. But good question. I really can talk forever about cameras and tech stuff. But great question. So that's the camera we're using. Next question. Next question comes from BC Green 1966. So BC Green 1966. Thanks for the question. When is the cookbook coming out? And can you make one that are for kids? Great question. We don't have an official launch date yet for the book, or release date for the book yet. It is in the air right now, but it's hopefully going to come out around October, end of October. It is end of October. So hopefully it'll be out and in shelves or online for ebooks by end of October or early November, so that, you know, people can get them before the end of this year. And the second part of your question, can you make one that are for kids? This is actually going to be one for the whole family. So honestly, some of these recipes, actually most of these recipes are super family friendly. Like literally anyone can do them. Jordan has some original recipes of his own that he just came up with randomly, and they're delicious. So this is going to be a book for everyone. Adults, kids, literally anyone can do this. As long as you can, I mean, some of this, you don't even have to have a knife. You don't even, yeah. Honestly, these recipes are super easy. Anyone can do them. This was meant to be a cookbook for the family, for anyone. I mean, you don't even have to be a family. You could just be cooking for yourself or for any loved ones. Doesn't matter. This book is for everyone. It's not overly complicated. There's no crazy, machines that you have to use. It's literally just, if you have a very basic kitchen, you can make all of these recipes. They're super easy, super simple, super fast, and honestly, they're delicious. And I'm not being biased. Crunch Mom has been the huge. She's awesome. This is her baby. Everything in this book is so Crunch Mom. So if you really want to feel her essence, get the book. This book's amazing. Great question. Thanks. Okay, let me just. Next question comes from. I'm going to have to look at the screen that I have on my phone because it's a long one. Okay, this one comes from at Alex Andri Moss Hagaman 3884. Alexandra Moss Hagaman 3884. You guys can see it right here. But thanks for the question. Are you and your family going to Korea sometime? Hopefully, yes. This year, our big international trip is Japan. So 2023 family trip to anywhere international is going to be Japan. And yes, it's really close to Korea. But I personally love Japan so much, I could probably spend a couple months there easy. That would definitely be hard for everyone else because school and whatnot and everything else that we got going on. But I could literally spend months there. I mean, there's just so much to see, so much to do. I love the culture. I love the food. I love everything about Japan that I could spend so much time there. But with that said, hopefully next year we could do a trip out to Korea and be there for a little bit. I do still have some relatives in Korea, and it would be nice to see them because I haven't seen them in quite some time. And I haven't been to Korea since, it's over 10 years. And just by looking at all the other videos about Korea, so much has changed. It'll be really cool. It'll be really cool to take Jordan and Kaya and Crunch Mom over there. So hopefully next year. Great question. Leave a question down below so we can answer it on the next video. I'm trying to do better about remembering to answer these questions. So make sure you guys leave a lot of questions down below. I do save them, and when I don't forget to do them, I make sure to answer them for you guys. Okay, here's the last question, and we're going to get a little serious. This one's not serious, but anyways, let's get straight into it. This one's from Giselle8946. Thanks for the question. The question is, what advice would you give someone in their 20s? This is a great question. It's pretty hard to answer because of where I am now. But anyways, long story short, what would I tell someone that's in their 20s? What advice? I don't know if it's good advice, but the only thing I could really think about is travel. Um, and what I mean by that is experience the world. I'm not talking about if you live in New York or like LA and travel to Europe, or travel within your means, whatever you can financially support. Just try to travel and broaden your experience outside of where you are. That means, like, let's say for me, growing up, my travel, besides going to Korea a couple times, my travel consisted of going from here to like Northern California. So Southern California to Northern California, or from Southern California to South Nevada. A lot. But that was the extent of like my travel. Even in my 20s, it was never about like it pretty much consisted of the same travel. And it didn't open my mind. It didn't open me up to the world. It didn't really show me what the world has to offer. And honestly, it didn't help me. I don't think it benefited me. I could have traveled to other places. Let's start this over. Honestly, just travel. The reason why I say travel is, I mean, Crunch Mom also said this too. Is just travel is it's you get so much. You become more cultured, I guess. Your life changes. Honestly, traveling and experiencing different places, just seeing how the world works outside of where you live. It's an amazing experience. I honestly regret not traveling more when I was younger. It consisted of, like I said, traveling to Southern Nevada and wasting my money on random things that, yeah, anyways. Um I could have spent that money and traveled elsewhere and experienced life a little bit better. Do what you can to financially be able to travel somewhere. Like within your 20s, at least travel a handful of times to other places where you've never experienced it before, even if it's just a different state. If you've never been to California and you're in Oregon, you're missing out. If if you live in, let's just say, the East Coast and you've never traveled to the West Coast, do it. And honestly, if you can financially afford it and you can travel overseas, 100% do that. That will change your whole mindset. It's amazing. It's definitely an experience that I wish I would have done when I was 20 or in my 20s. So travel more. I don't know if I answered the question well, but yeah, travel is definitely one of those where you should do it. It's it's literally a life changer. And I'm so glad that I met Crunch Mom, and we've traveled a heck of a lot more than I did in my 20s, or my early 20s at least. So it's it's been a great experience with her, and she's traveled everywhere. She's traveled all around the world, lived all around the world. So her life experiences are way higher than mine, but I'm catching up. I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to see so many different places. So if you can, travel. Um, if you can't, work hard so you can travel. Because those experiences, they stay with you, and they stay with you forever. Like, I remember the first time traveling, I remember my first plane ride, which is kind of crazy. It was to San Francisco when I was, man, I don't even know how old, but yeah, that was my first plane ride. I remember that. I remember my first time in Korea. Just all those experiences, they don't go away. Like, they get engraved into your mind, and they get engraved in you, and it becomes a part of you, and you want more. It makes you want more, not even just in travel, but just in life in general. So it gives you something to work towards. So to answer your question, advice for someone in their 20s, travel. Travel and experience the world. Travel and experience your country. Travel and experience wherever you are. Get into that uncomfortable feeling of, I don't know what's going to happen, but go with it. Roll with it. Don't lose. Don't quit. Just go with it. And yeah. But man, that was a good question. Thank you guys all for the questions. We're gonna end it here. Make sure you guys leave us some questions, or leave me some questions down below if you want questions answered by Crunch Mom. Leave them down below as well too. Hit that like and subscribe button. See you guys next time. CrunchDad out.